Oh God. Okay, start virtual camera. Hello. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's up?
Awesome. Many things are up. What's up with you?
Well, it sounds like not as many things as what are up on your end. I'm just
Damn.
chilling, playing Factorio.
Cool. How was D&D?
You know, it was okay. It was D&D. D&D is what D&D is.
Yeah, so Tombs of Scoria, is that the same thing?
Is Tombs of Scoria the same thing? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
is it a different game or is it like a partition of D&D?
Well, it's the name of our D&D campaign, so it is D&D. Oh, do you want to introduce yourself?
Gotcha. Yeah, can I just make sure I've got all the visuals ironed out? I'm trying to turn on my camera. I put it on the virtual camera. Can you see me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
You can see me loudly.
Yeah, it's an expression. We describe things with sound.
Right? I like it. I like it. Okay. Now am I live on my YouTube channel to my potentially 0 to 1 viewers? Let's see. I just want to verify what I've got going on. Oh yeah, it looks like I'm live. It's just a chair for some reason. Okay, there I am. Okay, sweet. But you're not here. Let me show you in the pop-out. Oh man, I forgot that I have to set up my overlays and everything in order to make you show up. Okay, you gave me an excellent tutorial last time. Let's see. Actually, no, wait, I have my shit all here. I can probably do it real quick. I just have to mute myself so I don't hear my echo. Window capture. Destiny. Oh, wait, I want the pop out. I want the pop out. Oh, wait, there it is. Cool. Yay. An upgrade from last time.
Nice, I think.
All right. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, I'm pretty hyper.
Okay.
Lots of exciting things have been happening today, including I saw a bear on my road as I was riding my bike home from work, and if I was walking,
Again? Are you Canadian?
yeah, I'm in Canada. I'm like basically like the not all the way like beside Alberta, but like more on the Alberta side of BC than the Vancouver side. So in like the Rocky Mountain range.
Okay. I know exactly where that is.
You do?
Absolutely.
All right, so I there's this bear that's been like messing with our compost ever since I bought the compost thing. The bear has been toppling it over, but I've never seen the bear. But so there's a steep hill that I ride to get right close to my house, and I'm riding, and I see this like massive, like it looks like a massive dog, but it's like walking the way a bear does, you know, like
Yeah.
that style. And I'm like, oh my god, it's the bear. So immediately I go to get my phone out to video it. And by the time I have the phone out, the bear went into the bushes and I couldn't figure out where it went. It disappeared completely. So, but that was pretty exciting, I gotta say. I'm happy I wasn't walking because then I would have been scared that the bear was gonna eat me.
Okay. Wow. Well, that does sound pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen a bear since I moved here, so. Okay, so I've got so many things to talk to you about.
Yeah. Wait. Introduce yourself.
Oh yeah, sorry, I always forget this part. Okay. I am Angel. I guess, yeah.
Okay, you're gonna need a more specific name than that, kiddo. Okay, try again. Where can people find you? Who
Right, okay, yeah, I'm throwing it all out there. Okay, so on Instagram...
I can get away with Destiny, because I'm mega famous, alright? We need a more specific than just Angel from you.
Okay, we're getting there. See, one of my subscribers told me I should drop the 69 from my name because it was too sexual.
Okay.
So I did that, but now I have the problem of... crap, hold on. I've got a couple problems. Now I have the problem because in order to get, so I changed my name to Angel_Dreams_ because I couldn't, there wasn't Angel_Dreams free, so I had to add an underscore at the end, or so I thought that was the best alternate version. But now it's fucked me over. Can we swear, or does that mean like somebody has to go in and change shit later?
No, you're good.
You're good? Okay. All right, I'm good, rather. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I have an underscore at the end of my name, which means people raid me and then they raid the person who doesn't have an underscore who isn't live, and then I lose like a big raid, potential big. Okay. So that sucked. And then I go to people, like if I pop in someone's, no, rather, actually, well, popping in a chat as well, but also if I raid someone else and then I get a shout out, sometimes they don't do my shout out correctly because they can't remember the underscore. So I have now observed...
You're learning all about the importance of branding, picking a good name that's both memorable and unique and easy to spell. Yeah.
And this is a psychological factor that I didn't realize, is if you have an underscore at the end, the brain doesn't add that in, right? Like if I had like _4, the person's going to read _4 and they're going to put that. But because it ends in an underscore, they just go, oh, Angel Dreams, that's all I see. And the underscore gets omitted from their brain. So I have to change it again. But anyway, that's what my Instagram is right now. That's what my Twitch is. And my YouTube, I don't know. I don't have like a special link because I'm too small, right?
Okay.
So like, I don't know how people do that. They just have to go to my links or whatever.
I trust you.
You can still go to dankbaby69.com if you want the whole shebang. But we're going to go...
Dankbaby69?
Yes, we are departing from the extremely overtly sexual nature, and we are coming towards the
it's a cool number. Okay, a lot of people big fan.
You know what, I love the number personally, and
it's an important number for some people. Yeah,
exactly. And you know, it is what it is. It's a whole affair, a learning process.
Gotcha.
I don't have, the E-date got moved to Monday, so I felt like I was in a rush before, but now I don't feel like I'm in a rush, so that's good.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah. Are you happy for me?
That your E-date got moved, or that you don't feel like you're in a rush?
The latter, or either, I guess. I don't care.
Both, for sure.
Cool, man.
Very excited.
Okay. Oh shit, I have to turn this alert off because it's really loud in my ear and people are following me, which I really appreciate. Thank you for following me, but also, how do I turn it off? It looks like it is off, so why is it going?
You might have to go to Streamlabs, the website, and turn it off. Good luck.
God damn it! Oh man, that's gonna be annoying as fuck. Okay, let me do this real quick. I haven't actually looked at this in a million years. Oh no, wait, I know, it's Stream Elements. That's what it is. Stream Elements. Everybody keep following me. It's awesome. Thank you so much. I love you. Streaming tools, smile relays. You're not in a rush, right? Nobody's in a rush here? Are we in a rush? Is there a countdown?
No, I'm okay.
Alright. Holy shit. Follow alert. Edit. Alert box. Okay, I'm turning it off. Whoa. Now there's like several going off at once. Alright, I don't know if it worked, but let's just hope it did. Am I too loud for you, or is everything fine?
You're pretty loud, but I manually turned you down. But you might want to do that in the future. Change that.
Okay.
You know that I'm live and all that, right?
I do know you're live, and it's chill that I'm obviously live on YouTube. Yeah. Nobody's gonna get mad at me for doing that. Okay, cool.
Well, they might get mad at you, but you don't get mad at anyone.
Then I'll beat them down. In digital interfaces. Okay. Hello, everyone. What's up, DGG? Welcome. Okay, let me open. I have a couple things to open here. I have the concepts that I want to talk to you about, and then I have my my very rushed document that I threw together last night. Which, yeah, is basically all the research that I've done in the last little period about some feminist shit. But, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, but we don't have to get into that. Why do you keep freezing on my end? What the hell's going on here? Okay, you're here now. Listen, I'm 34.
You're doing it, dude.
I'm doing it. Okay, thank you for the encouragement. I needed it. Oh, yeah, okay. My Twitch suspensions, and then we could also talk about my /your, I don't know how much you want to talk about it, because I'm pretty sure you're still trying to be on there, but like Twitter bans.
Trying to be on there?
On Twitter.
Oh, yeah, I'm on there, dude.
You are? Okay. Because I had like 6 Twitter accounts. Some of them were very large, like following.
How large are we talking here?
It was 174K on one. And then one, well, and then I got hacked. So, and there's a video on my YouTube about what happened when I got hacked, which is an insane story, by the way. So that I lost my first account, which was 46 point something K in 2020. And then I fell back on my backup account, which then turned into the 174.8 or whatever K account. And then I had a 54K account as well.
Okay, we got it. You've had a lot of Twitter accounts. Good for you.
They all got banned in March. So,
how do you feel about... Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go
Somebody
ahead.
linked your... Do you have any children?
Nope. Why, what's up?
Well, because somebody linked your Reddit account.
Oh my god, don't look at that.
Well, I did.
Okay.
And is it really fair for you to write MILF if you don't have any kids? Isn't that kind of like stolen valor?
It is a hotly debated topic. So it obviously depends on the rules of the subreddit.
We're not talking about rules of the subreddit. We're just talking about ethics and morality right now.
Well, okay, I'll tell you something. The first time somebody called me a MILF after I became a sex worker, because I just became a sex worker when I was like 31 in 2020, right? I cried because I didn't want to face the fact that I was old. So I did not want to be a MILF. I don't want to be a MILF, in fact. I want to be a hot young thing. But apparently this is the only thing I'm allowed to be, is like an old thing or whatever, right?
Okay.
So
impressive. You found a way to steal valor and victimize yourself at the same time.
Sure, if that's how you want to take it, let's do it that way.
Nice job. All right. Okay, cool.
Right.
I respect the grind. All right.
Exactly. Damn, they found it that fast. Holy shit. I should be more careful
Well, you
with my...
gave us all of your socials. I would hope it'd be pretty easily findable, no?
All right.
But okay, go ahead. Continue. What did you want to talk about today?
Well, okay, so yeah, I lost my Twitter accounts, and so I just stay off Twitter. And interestingly, I find this kind of like coalesces into talking to you, and I watched your video with LavLunee, and we can talk more about her later, but the end of the conversation basically amounted to her like interacting with Twitter people who is like, you know, who the non-binary people that she struggles with or whatever was really just like Twitter people. And so I feel like if I was still on Twitter, I would be made that, but I would also be made to act in a certain way on, like, you know, when I say act, I mean like tweet in a certain way that makes it like I would have to conform to, you know, if I was like, oh look, I talked to Destiny, here's the link, I feel like people would be in the comments being like, oh, now you're a Nazi or whatever, right? Yeah, so it's cool that I can just do whatever I want and nobody really gives a fuck unless you're on Twitter. I like that.
I mean, there are places where people give a fuck, but Twitter is definitely like a uniquely dog
Twitter
shit platform.
Yeah, it's the place that I would probably get the most, like, you know, people would think I was shitty, you know, like the people that I was building connections with and networking with would probably like unfollow me or block me or what the fuck ever. So yeah, I highly recommend like not being like, I don't know, obviously you can be on Twitter and you can promote your shit or whatever it is that you want to do on Twitter or keep up with shit, but the mentalities that develop there, and then like the hive mind style of thinking and the way that retweets and stuff works, you know, especially like if you look at like the whole Keffel situation, it's just like it's like the place where like humanity loses all its sense of cooperation and things accelerate so fast and go so radical for like really no reason, just because that's kind of like the way the system is set up.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, like you're locked to like a limited number of characters. It like it's highly incentivized to draw political people, and then yeah, it's the platform lends itself to dog shit intercourse.
I love that.
Discourse. I'm logging off.
I love that so much. Yeah.
That's, you know.
Okay. Right. So anyway, stay off Twitter / don't, whatever, I don't care, but I'm just glad I'm not on it. Like, I kind of, like, there was a period there where I was like, now I've lost, like, all my promotion, pretty much, because that was where I was biggest. You know, those were my biggest accounts.
Did you already have Reddit accounts when you were on Twitter, or?
I did, but, like, I've left and come back to Reddit so many times that, like, you know, my followers are, like, really inactive, and I'm not really very... I don't get like a whole lot of action there. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. There's more to say about other things to do with that later, but let's jump. Oh, yeah, the Twitch suspensions. So I started doing the pools category, or hot tubs, or whatever you want to call it. I had done one stream when I had spoken to you previously, and then I started like making that my main focus because it was summer and I had just bought a pool, and I was like, this is gonna be great. The experience was interesting. I definitely thought it was gonna be like a lot more lucrative. If you're a smaller creator, like, because you know, you hear about, and even when we talked about like the, you know, the Twitch people, that whether or not they should be making the type of content they are in the pools category. Like, if you look at the big creators who are making like a shit ton of money and get like a lot of viewers, it's like, okay, I can see how you would think about some things to do with that, but there are so many smaller people that are just trying to make a fucking living. And
yeah, this is true of almost all platforms. People will be like, I want to be a YouTuber that makes so much money, and it's like, no, like that's like saying playing basketball makes you so much money. Like if you're in the NBA, yeah, but everybody else makes shit. And it's the same thing with like anything in entertainment, for sure. Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, so it's the first time it was kind of made sense that I got suspended. I mean, I don't want to say that I I don't think I did anything wrong, but I did get drunk, and it was just, you know, if I was gonna get suspended at any time, it would have been that stream. My bikini was less covering than other bikinis could be. And yeah, so I got suspended. I was like, oh no, like everything's horrible. And then I was reinstated after that. And then the second time was really weird because I was doing a cosplay stream, and my cosplay was like, it was not like a sexy cosplay that's just like a tiny bikini and like a thong. It was like an actual cosplay that like covered my butt. And I was trying, because you know there's that rule where you're not supposed to do certain poses, because if you do sexual poses, that can be seen as a reason to suspend you. So I was trying to just do like neutral poses, and then since I was cosplaying a fighting game character, I was even doing like some like fighting game, you know, idle stance things. And then I got suspended from that, and that really pissed me off. So I think it's just like, you know, like people reporting me and being hateful, and I got so many like, there's like creeper comments and
yeah, Twitch is really
troll
weird
assholes
when it comes to like why people get banned for some things. Like you'll see some streams and like somebody will get like dinged for like a cosplay, and you're like, damn, that really got banned. And then you'll see other streams where it's like yoga streams with 7 different cameras up their asshole.
Yeah,
and it's like this person is streaming for like weeks on end. It's very, 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 very weird. But
yeah, and I talked to this one streamer who I think is pretty cool, and she had just gotten suspended too, but she's partnered and she gets like way more viewers and stuff. And so she was like, well, if you're partnered, you're fine. And I was like, yeah, I'm not partnered. And she's like,
yeah,
oh, well then I'm worried for you.
Not true, but
yeah, hey,
it can help, but it's not 100% a guarantee. But yeah,
right. All right, well, that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, cool. Next topic. Did you win at D&D?
yeah, we always win at D&D.
Sick. Okay, Sneako's Pokemon take. Okay, so yeah, I just saw this last night. I don't remember which video it was on, but essentially the take where he's like, I guess you could just say like simp hating, or he wasn't even hating the simps, he was hating Pokemon. For like
which one? What? I've heard so many takes from Sneako and Pokemon and everything recently. Which one was this? Remind me.
So he was like, they all love her, but she doesn't love you. She's just sitting there, and she's just making money off you, and I can't remember what else he said, but basically just like,
okay, basically with her having to do like her being fake, basically, right?
I guess, yeah, I guess you could say that, because like although she's literally just sitting there playing her game, making like jokes or whatever the fuck she does. I don't actually like know a ton of her content or anything, but so I find it an interesting, I guess, juxtaposition or maybe hypocritical statement, because Sneako's like out here like peddling conspiracy theories. And it's like, bro, how are you making your money? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying he doesn't do good content ever, and he doesn't talk about some good things that need attention drawn to them. But it just seems like it's kind of a strange take to have about somebody's content when you're literally saying, like, the queen eats babies or ate babies, whatever. And then also there's the larger conversation, which is they, you know, him and whether he's like red pill or whatever he wants to call himself, where they think women should be feminine and girly and cute and fit into this box, but then when they use that feminine, girly, cute thing as their like career or like as to their own advantage or whatever, then it's like seen as this like super hateful, you know, succubus type thing. So
there is a really weird thing that was pointed out to me a long time ago. I don't know why this is the case or what is going on. I don't think it's like a consciously like hateful thing, but when I noticed it, it was very, very, very irritating. And there's this phenomenon where like porn will be okay, video game porn will be okay. Like if I were to go and watch somebody play a video game and there's a porn scene in the video game, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like if a woman were to cosplay a pornographic character from the video game and stream that, all of a sudden there's a problem with that. I don't understand why there's like a lot of weird views of like sex and sexuality and where they can appear and when it's acceptable and when it's like and when people like freak the fuck out about it that I don't fully understand.
Yeah.
Because yeah, some people get really, really, really mad at like booby girls and stuff, which I actually think is super fucking fine. If you want to hate booby girls and shit, I think that's your God-given right to do so. But it's really weird to masturbate to porn, to go crazy over booby girls when they show up in almost any other area. But then when you meet a booby girl, then you get really fucking mad. I don't understand that. If you're like a Christian conservative and you don't like porn and all of that 100% of the time, then fine, go for it, hate away. But if you're somebody that like jerks off and loves like porn and all that shit all the time, but then when there's like a girl doing that type of content somewhere, you get really ass mad about it. I super don't get that. That's very fucking weird to me.
It's a very weird disconnect. I don't know why it exists. It kind of relates a little bit to when we talked about last time, because you were saying you don't think the content on Twitch should be like, you know, porny or whatever at all because of the kids being there. And I said what I said, which was like my first example was like rap videos, you know, kids often see those and whatever. But then after we were done, like a couple days later or something, I thought to myself, like, wait a sec, like so many video games are marketed to kids and all female characters have their asses and tits out and they're wearing like skin tight like latex outfits. And it's
it's like awesome. For some reason.
Yeah, why is that? Not only is it fine, it's the norm. It's like that's what they look like, whether it's a movie, video game, that's literally what they look like at all times. You never see them like wearing a big ass hoodie, or if you do, it's like very, very rare, right? And you never see like older women. Whoa.
Okay, hold on. Someone in YouTube chat says, repeating status quo talking points, no depth. No, the lack of depth is when you respond with some stupid shit like, oh, well, actually, it all depends on the context. Newsflash, if you've ever played a video game in your entire fucking life that has tits in it, it didn't need those tits for the game to work. There is not a single sex scene in any of the Witcher games that needed to be there for that plot to work that way. You were fucking brain dead. You have the surface level dipshit take. If you, honest to God, were playing The Witcher 3 and you're like, you know, that game was pretty good, but what really sent it over the edge was that scene where I could fuck Triss and see the fucking boobs come out, or the fucking white witch lady, or the whatever the fuck the black-haired bitch was who was inferior to Triss in every way. No, that's the surface level take. Shut the fuck up. You don't need tits in any video game. You have them there for one reason and one reason alone, and that's entertainment. It's the only reason they're there is because you like looking at boobs. And for you to pretend that it's anything different makes you the fucking delusional one, okay? All right.
Look who's no depth now, bitch. Okay. Yeah. Skin tight outfits. Oh, and they're never older girls, right? You sometimes have older dudes, right? In video games, like old wizard guys or old like tough dudes with guns. When do you have like a hot, or like doesn't even have to be a hot old lady, it could be like a grizzled old fucking weird lady, I don't know. Like it's very fucking rare. So
well, that's kind of like, that also just goes along with like the dating norms, is that like men are considered attractive up through their 60s, almost 70s now. And although I will say that like women have been pushing more and more for better representation media. It's a lot better today than what it was even 10 or 15 years ago. It's gotten a lot better, I think, where you're seeing more like older women. I say older women, but I mean like women in their 30s and 40s.
Women with like a single line on their face. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. And obviously women of color too, and variety of, you know, representations. Okay, so there was sort of like a secondary part to this Sneako Pokemon thing I want to talk about. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you also get like really weird on that thing too. And not to single out Sneako, because there's a lot of because a lot of people have these takes. Fans of women content creators, if they were to act in ways that fans of male content creators act, they would get called simps, even if they do the exact same thing. Like, I have a fan base. I have arguably one of the most dedicated fan bases, I think, on the internet. I think I have like the most active creator subreddit on the internet, even for people that have more fans than me. If I was a girl, all of my fans would be called simps, but instead they're just called like terrorists or internet harassers or whatever. But if I was a girl and you saw my fans in like LSF arguing shit, they would all be called simp losers that are only there for my pussy. And I even noticed, actually, I even grow my own fan base, because my own fan base is like 95% men, so naturally we got a ton of fucking incels. If I have a conversation with somebody that my fan base finds annoying for a long period of time, they're like, oh, I hate this guy, Sneako never learns. Like, they're all very critical of the things that he says and the things that he does. Anytime I get like posts about Sneako that are negative on my sub, it's all all because of the things that he says and what he does. But when it's about like fucking Lav, or when it's about like any of these other girls that people don't like, it's just because like, oh, Destiny's simping, or it's because he's after pussy, blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, well, if I treat a guy the same way that I treat a girl, you ascribe like completely and totally different intentions depending on who the person is. There's a lot of like really fucking annoying like double standards there when it comes to how people evaluate each other's behavior. But yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird because, like, obviously, if the people involved, like, say it's you and Lav, for example, if it is two, like, bi / like people that could be attracted to each other, right? Like hetero or bi or whatever. Then it's like, okay, we know that there's the potential there for attraction, there's the potential for flirting, whatever. But to assume that it's like all based on that, it just kind of like discredits, or like attempts to discredit the entire conversation. So I don't know, I think it's dumb. Okay, so I go into a thing about Aberrant Preach here for some reason. Oh yeah, okay. Basically, let me just do the Aberrant Preach thing real quick. So Aberrant Preach, or what was it? Is that video which was like those women who were they all in their 20s? I feel like I remember you saying something about...
It's the video where they were like talking about like dating preferences and stuff. Or
yeah, something. Like what kind of men, and they all like want like guys with really high incomes or whatever.
I think some of those women must have just been like I know that everyone in chat thinks it's just like crazy fucking women, blah, blah, but I think some of those women were young and hadn't worked before. That's the only thing I can think of, because there's no way that anybody that had ever worked before would have been like, I want a guy with like an okay income. I'd say like $400K a year. There's no way that somebody that's worked a job before would ever say something like that. I don't believe it. Like,
yeah, they have no idea.
Yeah, it wasn't because they were insanely fucking stupid women. It was because they were just people that hadn't worked, I think was the thing, yeah.
Or just like have no experience with people in the workplace, like and what like career trajectories look like.
Yeah, and I also think it's important to know, and I said this with too, it's important to know what the status of these people are as well when they're making like certain demands. So like a girl saying something like, I want a guy that like is doing okay, that's like making 6 figures, that sounds like really privileged and entitled, but it's like, well, where are you pulling these girls from? Because if these, like, if you're pulling like 5 girls from like Columbia Law or some shit, or like, you know, if they're going to like some UC school and they're in fucking like decent programs, like, yeah, these guys are, these girls are like top like 5% earning women probably, who are going to be looking for like top 1 to 5% earning men. Like that, it makes more sense, as opposed to if you're pulling them out of like a state school in Iowa and they're saying stuff like that. Well, now it's a little bit more ridiculous, but it's kind of important to know the background. And it's an online internet show, so my guess is a lot of these girls are being pulled from like fucking LA or places like that. So it makes more sense depending on where the geography is. But
yeah, agreed. Right. Okay. And then so at the end of that video, I think it was Ava who was like, he said something like, times have changed. Women are out studying and out earning men. It's scary, or something to that effect. And then like hearing that, I was just like that is not that recent, right? So then I looked it up, which is like what I've got here on my little document. And it says, so I grabbed a paragraph from this one website, which says, by the early 1990s, the labor force participation rate of prime working age women, those between the ages of 25 and 54, reached just over 74%, compared with roughly 93% for prime working age men. The share of women going into traditional fields of teaching, nursing, social work, and clerical work declined, and more women were becoming doctors, lawyers, managers, and professors. As women increased their education and joined industries and occupations formerly dominated by men, the gap in earnings between women and men began to close significantly. So that's like already the early 1990s, which is like 30 years ago, right? So
true, but that's a trend that like started then, but it's been continuing and going further and further and further, I think, right?
Yeah, I just think it's a bit odd I can't imagine Ava's that much older than like mid-30s. So it's like his whole life, this started at basically when he was 0, and he's still trying to like catch up. I don't know. Seems a bit weird.
Well, I think the issue is that we have pretty conservative dating standards still, in terms of how we relate to each other, but we have a highly progressive society when it comes to income structure. This is what I was thinking of. There was like a perfect video that encapsulated this. I don't know if you're aware of this, but the biggest feminists in the world are oftentimes conservative women that are doing careers like in entertainment, like in pundits or whatever. So like Tommy Lauren Southern, right? These people will talk about like traditional values, but it's like, you guys are hardcore feminists. You're strong, independent. You have your own careers. You're famous. You don't need no man, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you guys are like doing the feminist dream, whether you like it or not. You really are. There was a video that Tommy Lauren put out that was really interesting, and basically she was screaming like, I don't want none of these lazy fucking mans. All these fuckboys, these guys have no jobs. They're fucking losers. They haven't moved out yet. They don't have houses, blah, blah, blah. And she's like ranting on some social media, TikTok, or maybe it was fucking Vine. I don't know. This is several years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's ranting. And the only thing that I was thinking was like, on one end, I'm like, yeah, sure, I agree. Go off, queen. But then on the other hand, hold on. On the other hand, something that I thought up was, it's interesting that women have stepped into traditionally masculine positions when it comes to the workplace, as in they're pursuing careers and they're earning a lot of money, but men aren't allowed to step into traditionally feminine roles like taking care of the house. Like if you went into the world as a man and you were like, I want to be somebody that just kind of like takes care of the house, maybe takes care of the kids, you're a fucking loser to like 90% of women. Like you're going to be a fucking loser.
Oh, to even women, if it's like
yes.
You think?
Even if you're like even to like feminist women, most of them are gonna look at you and it's like, you're kind of a fucking loser, okay? But women used to do just that, and that was like the epitome. That's what you wanted. I want a really young, hot housewife that can have a kid or two and take care of the house. And that was like the apex of what a woman could be. So women have stepped in traditionally masculine roles, which I think is great. I love that. I think that's fine. But men aren't allowed to step into traditionally feminine roles, which I don't know if I would want them to, but the dating standards for women have been a lot slower to adjust than their workplace status. So while women are earning more and more and more, they're still also looking for men that are earning equal or out-earning them, which is getting more difficult when, like, if you go to colleges, it's like 60-40 now between women and men. And every time we have like a new fucking like pandemic or a new recession or whatever, the people that end up having to stay home and take care of the bills and shit are usually men. So they fall even further behind and shit. So yeah, that's basically, it's like queens are out there looking for their kings, but like now the queens are becoming kings and they're looking for like mega super kings.
Yeah.
And like the ex-kings are like now like paupers and shit, or knights, because they can't even fucking work as much anymore. So that's just like, I'm not saying that anybody's to blame there. It's just like complicating like dating standards that are hard for people to kind of catch up to.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. It kind of actually relates to like a point that I had a little later on, which is the whole concept of like the red pill people who think that society or the left has been feminizing men. Mm-hmm. Because they think it's, and maybe it's not the exact same thing that you're talking about here, but I'm curious to hear what you think about like who is feminizing men and how are they, and is it just because like we're basically we're letting guys know it's okay to cry, or is there something else going on that I don't know about?
I think progressives are absolutely feminizing men too much.
You do?
I think that, yes. I think that there are aspects of masculinity that are absolutely fucking toxic. And I think it's really good that we've called those out and we've gotten rid of those standards. But I think there were aspects of masculinity that are incredibly positive, and it feels like we're really kind of scared to show those role models now, or we don't talk about it as much as we used to, or at least people on the left don't. And that's why if you're looking for like positive role models for masculinity, you've got like fucking Kermit the Frog, who almost OD'd on fucking benzos, Jordan Peterson, or you've got Ben Shapiro, or I guess like the red pill community. Like nobody in the left really wants to be a voice for young men, right? It's basically just a bunch of people saying like, oh, you're a man? Well, let me help you here. I'm going to tell you the 15 ways not to rape a woman and to make sure that you're giving space to like intersectional women of color who are trans. It's like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, why are there no more just male role models on the left? Like, why does it, you have to look to the right for it? Yeah, and I feel like they've mishandled a lot, like the idea of like, what does it mean to like be emotional as a guy or show emotion? It's strange because like in pop media before, I feel like there were really good examples of it in like Disney movies and shit, right? I feel like I've heard in like 15 different Disney movies, like it's not about not being afraid, son. It's about doing the right thing even when you're scared, or like shit like that. Like you hear these, and that's like an example of like positive masculinity. But it feels like we've scaled back a lot of that on the left of having any representation for men, and now everything is like girl power, girl power, girl power, which is fine, which is great. I think that's awesome. But it feels like people are really, really scared to address like this growing uneasy trend of men that either feel like they're getting left behind because they are, or they feel like they're getting left behind because there aren't very many new role models, and all the other people are like getting all these new role models and everything, and it just kind of feels like weird to get left out, you know?
Okay, so I hear what you're saying there. I don't think you're wrong per se, but like how is a lack of representation meaning that you're feminizing them? Wouldn't feminizing them be like that they should like start doing more feminine-y things?
I shouldn't say feminizing, I guess, because that's actually got a really negative connotation to it. I should just say like making them weak and worthless.
Oh.
It feels like this. I'm generalizing so much from my perception of reality right now, so I could be wrong. This is just like perceptions that I have. Here's like one thing that I think has happened, and this probably applies to men and women. Children today seem to have very little tenacity. I feel like we stress is not always bad. You just have to have the tools to deal with it. And rather than empowering people to deal with stressful situations, it seems like our goal in life has been to remove all stress from a person's life, which is not good. And the way that I see people acting on social media, especially Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and the way that I see kids acting in schools, dude, I just saw, I don't know if it was a fucking troll or not, but I just saw a trigger warning on a thread on Twitter earlier where some girl was like, trigger warning, and then people were like, she was like, trigger warning, and this girl's really hot. And people are like, why the fuck did you put a trigger warning on that?
Wait,
like,
the trigger warning was that the fact that she was hot?
No, the fact that she was Chinese.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she said, I put a trigger warning on because this person is Chinese. And her excuse was, can I explain the trigger warning to everyone, please? Some people with OCD and autism can be triggered by certain races, so that's why I added the trigger warning. I'm personally not bothered by Asian people, but some of my followers might be. Sorry if you might be offended. Just like, and I.
But wait, what was the thread about? What was the thread about?
What? It was initially just her retweeting somebody saying like, "Oh, you look like really hot. You're so gorgeous," but it was like trigger warning: East Asian, maybe Chinese.
That just sounds racist.
I know, but like, it's just. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily representative, but yeah, like you see so much of this like weird shit pop up like over and over and over again, and then like all these videos from like all these different college campuses with these professors getting kicked off, hearing about like this crazy like progressive orthodoxy of like you have to believe this thing or else you're gonna get excised from campus, or I'm kind of veering off or whatever, but like it to pull it back, it feels like we have a very difficult time giving stress to children and having them learn how to deal with it, and we're removing their ability to deal with any stress in the real world. It's like a very scary thing. Yeah.
So I think I'm hearing what you're saying, and I think what you're kind of like building here is you're saying rather than like guys being feminized per se, we're like removing things from them, potential parts of their character, and then we're also doing that to kids as we're raising them.
Yeah, I shouldn't say
or like we're allowing them to be more weak or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, weaker. Yeah, less able to deal with like conflict, basically.
Yeah, less competent, and also maybe not relying on their natural instincts as much.
I don't know what I'm saying.
In terms of like guys, more so, like because you touched on the toxic masculinity thing. So do you think it's like maybe we're kind of like putting shame towards like what guys naturally?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Like, it's hard to balance it. It's hard. It's always hard for everybody to have balance. I wish people could have balance. But like in some cases, like you do want a really strong stoic figure to lead the way and to take charge and to figure out an issue and to be able to put like feelings and emotions and fear aside to like handle issues. But the problem is that the way that would play out in the past is guys would do that until they would go postal and murder their roommates and then go and shoot up a place because they've got PTSD and they can never talk to anybody, right? Which is obviously bad. But it feels like yeah, it feels like those like positive. I don't see those positive representations of male masculinity as much. I feel like people like demonize men so much. It's just kind of scary. But this is just my perception. Maybe it doesn't play out as much this way in the real world. And it's just what I see a lot on social media and in college. But I mean, if I see it everywhere, does everybody see it everywhere? In which case, does the perception kind of make it true? Like, it's hard to say, but yeah.
No, I think you're right. Like, there definitely is those online spheres, which then sort of trickle into real life, but they definitely like calcify online or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. And like I've definitely, I've been in various stages of feminism. Like when I was a young gamer teenager, I used to like hate anything that sounded kind of feminist because for various reasons that were like toxic to myself and women. But and then so I went the other way, and then I got more, and then until I saw a lot more stuff that was like, oh, all men are stupid. And actually at this feminist conference that I went to when I was 21, I believe, there was an older feminist there, and she was just like, we were just doing something very like chill at a table. I think we were like, maybe we had some like a clipboard with names on it that we were like checking off or something. And every few moments she's like talking about like how useless men are, and men are just like, you know, and so then I don't know, it's pretty weird, but like I think those people are the minority. I think they're just really loud online. Yeah.
I would hope so, but like I could go onto Twitter right now and probably all night spam like fuck men, fuck white people, blah 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 blah. I could do that over and over and over again. But if I type one tweet where I'm like fuck black people, like my account might get permabanned. And that's like a pretty common like TOS experience in a lot of places, because I think that like progressives have kind of created this interesting combination of like forms of analysis to give them the ability to kind of like attack anybody they don't like. Like white people saying fuck black people is bad because white people belong to an oppressor class and black people are an oppressed class. And if white people make fun of black people, that's a form of punching down, which is bad. But if black people are attacking white people because they're systemically disadvantaged, them attacking white people is actually a form of empowerment because they're punching up on a class that has more power over them. And like using these like forms of putting together like our hierarchical way of viewing society, you end up creating these environments where it's like, oh cool, you can basically be infinitely racist towards white people or infinitely sexist towards men, and that's actually okay. You get a free pass for that. But if you do it the other way around, you get instantly fucking nuked, which is bad. Like one of the, I don't know if how much you read Reddit. Do you read Reddit a lot?
No, I don't.
Oh fuck. One of the worst subreddits and most hateful subreddits I've ever seen in my entire life, probably worse than fat person hate or anything, is probably the subreddit 2X chromosomes.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of that shit. But that's just like turf land, right?
No, that's not turf land. That's feminist land. It has nothing to do with turfs. Ironically enough, it's called 2X chromosomes, but they like fight for trans representation on the subreddit, which is kind of funny in its own. But yeah, no, like that subreddit is unimaginably hateful. Holy shit. But because it's like shitting on men constantly, and like you'll just get posts where it's like, does anybody else just like fucking hate men? Does anybody else hate all fucking men? Anybody see men? And it's like, I remember one popular post that was like, it's not enough to say not all men. It is all men. Because even though not all men are rapists, all men support the men that are rapists by saying hashtag not. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like,
okay, so what do you think? I feel like there's a thing going on here where it's like, I can kind of understand, like, some of these people, whether it be black people or feminists or whatever, when they're saying these extreme statements, it's almost like I can see them just needing, like, a space to vent. Like, they need, like, a space
like
to, like...
space.
Yeah, where they can yell stupid shit, like, I hate all men or whatever, or white people. And it's like, okay, that totally makes sense that you're feeling like that, and that you're totally free to express yourself. But I feel like, yeah, it shouldn't be in the same place as...
It shouldn't be like a publicly accessible place.
Yeah.
Like, safe spaces are super valid and super cool. I super support them. I am a huge supporter of safe spaces. Sometimes you want a place where you can just step in and fucking vent and not have to worry about being PC and not have to worry about offending somebody and not have to worry about somebody else's feeling. You just want to vent. That's totally fine and valid. But those can't be like publicly accessible spaces. That's why they're called safe spaces. They're like sectioned or quarantined off from society, and it's an area where just a certain group of people can complain about a certain group of other people.
Yeah, I wonder how that's gonna ever be a thing though, because as soon as you try to do that, they're gonna say that you're just like making them shut up or whatever, or move somewhere else. So
yeah, probably true. Yeah.
All right, well, okay. Okay, I kind of I'm trying to see if this actually is what I think it is. Sneako is super opposed to feminism, and there are so many guys out there that share these triggered reactions. Okay, well, you're kind of explaining a little bit to me why people might be so triggered. And I feel like, so, and we'll get into this a little bit more in a bit, but since joining the Zherka Royale podcast,
yeah.
I have come into a space where there's this, it's a conservative Twitch space that I didn't expect or like didn't know existed, and so I wrote this kind of referring to that, which is there's this group of women. It's not like a group, but there are several women that are in this space, and they are, I don't know if they would say they're like anti-feminist, but like they're against abortion oftentimes, or they're you know, they want to like nurture men rather than be upset at things about men. What else is here? Oh, yeah, okay, that was me asking about the emasculating men thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, this is sort of stream of consciousness. What did I write here? What did you think they were referring to? Okay, we already touched that. All right. And that's all I got for that topic.
Wait, what did you say? You didn't say anything. What the fuck was the...
I'm sorry, we kind of jumped around, and then I'm trying to read my notes that were done in like a very specific order. Okay. So we might as well just go into the Zherka thing, because I don't think there's really going to be much more left to say on Sneako and Pokimane, right? Mm-hmm. Do you agree, or do you have anything that you...
No, I don't really have much to say.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so that's been kind of interesting going into this little like conservative enclave, and I'm not even sure how small it is anymore, because at first I was like, oh, it's just these people that are on this podcast.
So this is something I kind of identified a long time ago, and it's kind of making a resurgence. I wouldn't call them conservatives.
No?
The way that I addressed them in the past is I would just call them like, I call it gamer bro politics. Or maybe you can refer to it as anti-SJW politics. So like usually they won't be conservative, like they don't have like strong economic positions or support like Republicans or anything like that.
No, they do support Republicans, or like they hate Joe Biden and they love Trump.
Sure, but not because of like I don't like the social or economic policies of Joe Biden.
Well, no, they're not nearly that intelligent.
Yeah, it'll just be because like Trump is based and because he shits on like feminists and like weak losers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's very much like a cultural thing, not like policies of like the government or fiscal policies or foreign policies. It's no shit like that, right?
Besides the abortion thing, though, they're down with that policy. Or like the overturning.
Yeah, maybe the abortion thing that might come from like red pill shit now, where women have too much like sexual freedom, so we need to like curb that. Maybe is where that's coming from, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been interesting because I kind of joined the group not knowing what it was, and then the person who linked me to the group, who connected me, I didn't make too many assumptions about her, but I watched her on this other Royale show. Do you know who Gigadatum is? I don't know.
Wait, girl or guy?
No, this is a guy, Gigadatum. He's like, okay.
Yes, I know who Gigadatum is.
Okay, and this is actually another thing, is like, now there's all these guys that are trying to be like alternates to like, I don't know if they're trying to be like Zherka / Andrew Tate kind of guys. They've got massive muscles, and they sit in there. They like their camera is just like, it's like a full muscle pic, right? Like it's like or like video really, and their whole shtick is like, I'm gonna show you how to like get e-girls and like how to be hot and how to be like a cool guy or whatever. And yeah, so it was his show and she was on, and so I was just watching because I was like, this is somewhat interesting and maybe I'll get on the show at some point. And there were some political questions, and then, the question was like, what would you change in the world if you could change anything? And she was like, blah, 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 to the rest of the answer, and then she's like, and I would make abortion illegal. And I was like, damn, like, I didn't realize there was this, because, like, would you still call that gamer bro if it's, like, a woman who's, like, straight up just anti-abortion?
Well, like, I think that the anti-abortion stuff isn't coming from a true defense of like old classic like family values. It's coming from this weird like red pill place where like,
but then they also involve God a lot. They talk a lot about God.
Yeah, and this is when my fan base is gonna rebel against me because my take on this is very nuanced, and then people just like re-out. A lot of these people invoke God a lot, but I don't think they genuinely are feeling the religion. Like, they'll invoke God, but then they'll talk about how to fuck, like, 10 different women at once. Or they'll invoke God, but they're talking about, like, pickup artist shit. Like, it is the lamest, and I fight with all these guys when they do this. It is the lamest invocation of religion I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. None of these guys know anything about the Bible. They don't know anything about Jesus. They only ever invoke Christianity to, like, try to, like, shit on women. Like, they're unironically doing with religion what people used to accuse the old evangelicals, I think it's evangelicals is what they're called. The evangelicals, and then like the old like neocon Christians, or even like the Tea Partier people, where people are like, oh, these guys just use religion because they hate women. No, that's not true. Even though they viewed women differently, they didn't hate women. They just viewed them differently because of their religion. But I think a lot of the current like red pill guys do actually use religion just because they hate women. Because when you start asking them anything about their religion, they have no fucking idea what the fuck they're talking about. They're totally fucking lost. Like, how are you gonna like say Jesus' name and traditional family values in one breath, and then in the next tell me how you want to have like one-sided open relationships where you're juggling 10 different women at once who are all 15 years younger than you? Like, it's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. So yeah, it is weird they invoke religion and they're anti-abortion, but I don't think it's like traditional conservatism. It's this like new wave of like red pill, you know, kind of shit. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
But I understand like it's confusing, and maybe in some ways there's a lot of crossover, but
It is confusing, and like sometimes, yeah, they don't specify whether it's Christian or not. Like, because I thought, oh, maybe there's some people that are like into Islam here, right?
yeah, some of them will invoke like Islam as well, but they
Yeah.
they know equally little about both fucking religions. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. It's really strange. And then they believe, like, this one individual that I was talking to. You can't really tell. And if you ask them about God, they say it's like, oh, it's just God. Oh yeah, actually, one of these guys, he'll only have sex at marriage. So he's like a vol cell or whatever until he's married.
Volta, yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, he only wants to have an orgasm, basically for God's purpose of reproduction, which is a little different. But then this other guy that I was talking to, because yeah, if that's one of the things, if you masturbate, then you're losing your virility or whatever. That's one of those thought spirals. Then this other guy, he loves God and stuff, but he does want several women to have sex with, and he views the women as impure if they want to have sex with more than one person. But yeah, they can only lust for him. They can't lust for anything other than him, but he can lust for anyone. But yeah, also loves God.
Because they have like a whole red pill way, like using kind of weird Evo psych shit to try to define why it's natural for men to want multiple women. But if a woman wants more than one man, you failed your job as a man, or some like really stupid shit.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it's been interesting. So I did meet LavLunee. I spoke to her on the Zherka podcast. And that was kind of an interesting environment because I had something I wanted to talk to her about, but we were in the little waiting room before you get dragged into the show, so we weren't like live on his channel at the time. But I was thinking like, oh man, is this gonna be my only chance to talk to her? So, and I was in, you know, when you're in the pool with those people, especially if you're a woman, people are just shitting on you left, right, and center. You like come in and they're like, just start shitting on you. Like the guys will shit on me, basically. Like I asked a question, and then this guy, he's like, who asked that? And I was like, me. And he's like, you're not worthy of an answer. So I was like, you know, you're just in the vibe where it's like attack mode, right? It's like an attacking zone. So I decided to go for my question to LavLunee, or I went for the thing that I wanted to talk to her about, which was like a criticism of her presentation about leaving sex work. And she got kind of like defensive, which is fine. And then I wanted to talk to her about it later, or like again, you know, I wanted to ask her questions because I checked out her Insta and I was like, wow, she's like, you know, she's obviously talented in like design or presenting aesthetics, you know. So I wanted to chat with her like about a few things to do with like holding yourself as a woman or like being confident and stuff. And I also wanted to smooth over the criticism I had of her leaving sex work video, but she never responded to me. So now I'm just like, she doesn't want to talk to smaller creators. And so I know she is a bitch. And like, basically it's like, then as I watched that video last night, I'm like, dude, this whole conversation, you could have just like talked to like a handful of non-binary people in your local area, and it like you would have got the answers that you're looking for. So I don't know, I just feel like she's like just talking to people for clout, doesn't want to talk to smaller people. She's obviously gorgeous, and you know, she's smart and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, I'm just kind of like, what the fuck, man?
The non-binary thing is really hard because like there's the online non-binaries are they're just the worst. I feel so bad for even saying this, and I'm not actually fully sure if it was a troll or not. I actually can't tell. I actually had a trans person email me and thank me for the conversations I had, because they didn't believe in non-binary people until they saw me have a conversation with one and talk about it, because they'd had so many negative experiences with non-binary people.
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, I mean, it's a rough world out there. So yeah. And I didn't even really, I think I'm on record. I think I said even as recently as like a couple months ago, I was like, I don't think non-binary people are real. I super don't buy it. Now I do, but I didn't before, because like, Jesus Christ, it's so hard, dude. The online environments there's a lot of crazy motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, and you've now stated that you are no longer identifying as non-binary, or you changed that.
Yeah, no, I never should have. And even the people that said that I should have, like, clearly nobody knows what any of these fucking things mean. My argument in the past was that I don't personally have like a super strong attachment to my gender. It's just not something I feel that strongly about. I don't really care. I think if I woke up as a woman, I don't think I would care. Maybe I would, obviously I can't tell, but I don't think I would. It's just not like, when I think of like my identifying characteristics, I don't think like, I'm a man, that's important to me. Like, it's just not. But so a lot of the times, like my own audience and people, it's like, oh yeah, that means you're non-binary, dude, for sure. But now when I look at like actual non-binary people who experience some level of dysphoria, if people are identifying them as genders and they don't want to be gendered, et cetera, it's like, okay, well, this is a different experience than just like not feeling strongly about your gender. Like, by definition of being like trans, of which non-binary is, by definition, you must feel strongly about your gender because you're having strong feelings about it. So yeah, even the fact that so much of my audience and other audiences let me get away with identifying as non-binary for so long kind of shows that nobody has any fucking idea what any of it means, you know?
Yeah, or the people that do have more of an idea just are far more rare than we actually, like, there's much more loud AFAB people that are like,
Yeah.
I'm co-opting this. This is what something in the sex work community is like. There's tons of people, like, for example, Twitter is where I did like 90% of my promotion rate. So I had tons of like people always in their pictures, always in my face. And there would be people that were presenting very feminine, and calling themselves non-binary, and like at the time I was like, you don't need to present this or that way to call yourself, like, if this is how you feel about your gender, that's how you feel, right? And I even called myself non-binary for a while, but whenever someone would include me in the trans heading, I always felt a little bit weird about that, because I never felt like I was trans. So I was like, same. Yeah, it's like I feel like, you know, maybe a little bit stronger than what you're describing. Like, it's not that just that I'm not attached to my gender. Like, I do have some things where I feel like I'm kind of like in that middle area, but I don't feel like I'm trans. And then when I see, and then the AFABs. And, you know, at first I wanted to, because I could talk about this for a really long time, because I've had lots of experiences.
These are trans terrorists. AFABs are trans terrorists online with what they do for the ideology. But it's also weird too, because I think AFABs are way more dominant in real life, whereas online it's almost exclusively AMABs, or AFAMs, signed at birth. AMABs.
AMABs. Right? Wow, you just like never say it. It's so rare.
Yeah, we don't even say it because it's so, yeah. But like online, it feels like online is exclusively male to female, whereas in real life, the issues that I hear, and I didn't know this until I started soliciting emails from trans people, almost in real life, everybody's problems are with AFABs that you have. And for people that don't know, I'm sorry, AFAB is assigned female at birth. Is you have these legions of, like, when people say that, like, oh my god, the amount of trans people has increased by 700%, and conservatives are trying to fearmonger that everybody's getting turned trans, the vast majority of these people are, not to be transphobic, but it's women that dye their hair blue, get a septum piercing, and then use they them pronouns and call themselves non-binary. And it's like, and these are like, and again, I didn't even know this was a thing, but when I was soliciting emails from my audience, I was like, hey, if you're trans, tell me your experience. I'm curious. Like, what do you guys go through? And email after email is like, I hate my trans support groups on my college campus, because if I'm like trying to transition, or if I'm looking for help, every fucking group I join is overwhelmingly dominated by non-binary women that use Zer or they them pronouns, who are not making any effort to transition or anything. And then you get like these women that are like, oh yeah, I'm non-binary, with like huge cleavage, and they've got like breeding fucking kinks, and they're like very feminine in all of their presentations. Like, damn, what non-binary? What? Like,
oh my god, we need more of you in the cleavage top with the V-neck. That was awesome.
Shut fuck off. Okay. But yeah, the frustration there is, yeah, I get a lot of trans people that are very upset about the AFABs.
Yeah, no, actually, so I ran a bunch of Twitter groups when I was on Twitter. Like retweet groups, right? This is part of why I got banned for platform manipulation. And So, you know, sex workers say that they're like shadow banned, so you need to retweet their stuff because nobody's going to see it otherwise. So, and then trans people oftentimes will get very little engagement because, like, sometimes they're shouting into a void, and you know, that their clients just come across less frequently than cis women's clients, right? So I made these groups for trans people, and I, you know, put out like, everybody trans, come here. And oftentimes it would start with like a really great group of trans people, and then there would be a bunch of AFABs that would join, and so all of a sudden there's these like fucking, you know, when I say hot, I mean like according to like societal norms, like baddie type looking women, people you would call, like, normally you'd say they're women or whatever, right? Like they got big tits, they're tiny waist, booty, like vagine, it's very woman looking. And so then the trans people, you know, because obviously those were the non-binary people, right? They were they, them, but they looked that way. And then the trans people then would slowly stop putting tweets in the group, and they would just kind of disappear over time. And nobody ever really said anything, but it was basically like, I get it. Like these people are already owning, like, they're already making a shit ton of money, or they just, you know, even if they just give you probably more dysphoria because you go to retweet their shit and they look like exactly like what you wish you looked like, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, and it's a nuanced issue. I don't really know how you tackle that one because, yeah, like, I don't even know how.
Well, the issue, in my opinion, is I don't know how this got started, but like gatekeeping is a really good thing. Like, it's important that categories mean something, and somehow we got, like, people trick themselves into thinking that you should never gatekeep anything ever. But like, it's kind of important to know what things are, right? Like, if I go to a car dealership and I want to buy a car and they start showing me like all trucks, it's like, I want to see a car, and it's like, why are you gatekeeping? Like, well, I'm trying to describe what I'm looking for. The biggest detriment to the trans community has been the embracing of fucking self-ID. It is the stupidest fucking way, and it is the most delegitimizing concept in the fucking world. You do not self-ID as anything. You don't self-ID as being depressed. You don't self-ID as having GAD. Well, today you do online, but like you don't self-ID as like being a thing. Just because you say you are something does not make you that thing. And as soon as self-ID became this predominant concept, you basically lost the ability to ever call into question or criticize anything about a given person's identity. Like, imagine if I were to go online and start posting, you know, like going into forums and started to like fundraise for like, I need help because like my ancestors were slaves, I'm African American, blah blah blah, and somebody's like, well, hold on, bro, you're very much not black. And I'm like, well, ID is black, so are you gonna like attack my identity? And it's like, oh well, fuck, now we're in like this weird world where we just have to take everybody at their word. And I think that's kind of what happened, and that's why you see like the non-binary shit pop up. And that's why I identify as a trans medicalist. I think that if you don't experience any dysphoria whatsoever, you shouldn't fucking call yourself trans. Go call yourself something else. But if you're just doing some shit because like you're happy when you do it and it makes you feel cool and you have gender euphoria, blah blah blah, that's fine and that's cool, and you can dress how you want, do what you want. But like, the experience that you're having is very clearly different than like a trans person who feels like a great level of dysphoria and discomfort and is like trying to transition or pass as something different than what they were born as. I think that the lack of the ability to gatekeep any of the identities and being forced to take everybody at their word, I think has been an incredibly harmful change in like the online trans communities.
Yeah, and it kind of displays like a lack of consideration for the feelings of people who are actually oppressed, because you're just like, I'm gonna be part of this too, and then you make their lives that much more miserable.
Yeah.
So that's shitty. Side note, did you ever follow the story of Rachel Dolezal?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit, but I don't know how much is true and how much isn't true. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
because she said that she like was raised with like the full-on like black experience and everything. Is it true?
I don't think she was. No, there was like pictures of her all the way up until at least adolescence, if not young adulthood, where she was like all blonde and light skin, and not. I don't when I say I don't mean like light skin black. I mean like me.
Like me.
Like
or you.
White as fuck. Yeah. Like she is Swedish, right? So she's like super white.
That's even funnier.
She is Swedish, yeah. And when the story came out, I read the whole thing about she placed like nooses in her yard, and then said like people were like throwing nooses in her yard as some sort of racist hate crime.
Oh, jeez.
It's a really big thing. And on top of all that, she was like the spokesperson for the NCAAP.
The NAACP,
that thing, yeah. So yeah, that's a doozy. You got to read that one.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I wish. So I don't know. I wish the LavLunee thing would, you know, materialize better. But it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. Well, she's going through her own experiences and growing as a human being. You know?
Yeah, I know. She's like 10 years younger than me, so. But...
Don't ever say that to. Damn, especially as a woman. If you said it to another woman, those are like fighting words.
That's fighting words?
Isn't it? From one woman to another? If you ever tell a woman like, "Oh, honey, like you're just so young," I feel like that's like the claws are coming out. If I hear something like that.
Oh, I didn't mean it in that way. I mean, I guess you could take it that way. Like I was more fighting words when I said like she should talk to an actual non-binary person and she should talk to smaller creators. No, I guess we're just, like, I don't know. You know, clearly she's in a different realm of awareness.
Good one, nice.
Maybe I can piss her off enough that she'll talk to me. Let's see.
Maybe.
Or I'll just give up on it. I don't know. Okay, that's about all. Unless you want to rate my YouTube channel.
What do you want me to rate?
Hold on. Let me grab the page. I never actually saw. Okay, wait. Has Brittany Simon ever come back, or did LavLunee bully her into a corner?
No, Brittany's chill.
Is she
we
back?
Just don't have much to talk about all the time.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean? Was she ever gone?
So, okay, then from my perception, I saw the LavLunee being like, you're evil or weird or whatever. And then the next day, like, she wrote on YouTube that she was, like, mourning. And then I saw some YouTube posts that she was like...
Oh, no, I thought that... Didn't she have, like, a death in the family or something?
Okay, I thought maybe it was that, probably. And then I saw some other status update that said, like, I suck. And so I was just like, oh, no, did LavLunee, like, totally... kill her self-confidence.
I'm a lot, or I'm making a big assumption here, but Brittany doesn't seem like, this isn't a slight on Lav at all, but Brittany doesn't seem like the kind of person that would get like fucked up by somebody like Lav. I think that Brittany,
no worries.
That would be my assumption, but yeah.
Cool, that's awesome. Okay, I think that was all I had to say there. All right, here is my YouTube channel. Tell me, so basically, I'm trying to follow the advice that I heard you say about uploading more. That's all I gotta say about that. Tell me about my uploading frequency.
Damn, this is a small YouTube channel, man.
I know! Wait, it became bigger thanks to you.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's hard for me to evaluate.
Look at my vids and tell me how scuffed or cool they are. Just click on my videos.
Damn, dude. You got inconsistent times, 2-hour videos, 30-minute videos, 20-minute videos.
Yes, put me on blast.
What?
Roast me.
Well, I don't... This is not my job. This is why I pay someone else to do this shit for me.
Fine.
I think the most important thing you could probably do for YouTube is like develop like a consistent set of content that you're uploading, so that when people are visiting your channel, if they go and look at other videos, they're going to see the same type of thing.
I know.
Rather than just uploading everything from stream. So like have like YouTube content in mind when you're doing stream stuff.
It's so hard to pick a lane. I can never pick a lane in life. I'm always everywhere.
Do you still do OnlyFans or?
I do, but it's really like I turn the dial down on that, and my focus is much more like Twitch stuff now.
I would keep the dial up on it and you always want to use other platforms to build other platforms. So if you can, although I don't actually know. Driving content from not safe work clubs to safe work clubs is actually.
And I see this. I'll tell you my thought process here. It's because I always really hated being on Twitter, but I was really good at spamming on Twitter, and so that worked well for me. Although it was really time consuming. But promoting yourself online as a sex worker is like fucking mind numbing as fuck. Because, like, you're either spamming nudes into places where people don't want you. Like, Reddit has recently tightened their restrictions. Like, people's individual subreddits.
Reddit has gotten really... Oh, even individual subreddits?
Individual subreddits now, a lot of them are request to post, and I'll request and they just won't get back to you. Or they'll just completely ban you because they don't want anybody who's even a sex worker. They want, like, women who are like, please, look at my naked body.
Yeah, it used to be initially... you could basically post, here's my shit, if you want, go buy it from here.
Yeah.
Then they changed it so you can't directly advertise, but you could have it in your profile. And now they've got it so that anybody that sells it at all isn't allowed to post in a lot of subreddits, which is pretty crazy. Although people still try to get around it, obviously. But yeah, it's like that illusion of like, we only want women that are just posting because they want to post their naked bodies on the internet for absolutely no other reason. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
But
it's the same as like when guys DM me and they're like, hey, do you want to trade? It's like, does anybody in your life ever want to trade?
yeah, does that work? Yeah.
Like, I've never even heard of a woman ever being like, I traded
want, like,
with a guy last night.
5,000th dick pic? Like,
Yeah.
totally different than 4,999 other ones.
Yeah, let me show you everything I got for your cheesy dick pic. Yeah, fucking promoting as a sex worker sucks. So I guess I'm just doing what I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I need a sex worker destiny to give me advice.
It's really hard to make the jump from sex work to traditional content. That's really difficult, actually. Well, I was gonna say you could talk to LavLunee about that, because she's having the same problems. Because like when you've done sex work, there's a certain effort that you put in for a huge cash out, but to try to jump to doing like traditional media is really, really, really hard, and the payout is nowhere near as great as it was for what you were doing before.
Yeah.
And that's a really difficult jump to make, you know?
Yeah, and she even has a huge TikTok. So, and it's like a lot of her videos have a lot of high views on TikTok. So.
Yeah. So it's difficult. People keep saying this, like Sasha Grey and Maya Malkova.
Oh, those are legendary porn stars, you dumb fucks.
Well, not only that, but I don't know if they really did successfully jump. Like Mia doesn't stream much or do much online content at all. No.
I think Mia Malkova is still a porn star, and Sasha Grey streams on Twitch, and she gets about 2.5K viewers streaming games.
Does she stream often? Does she stream all the time?
I don't know. I see her every once in a while.
Yeah,
probably
I don't
not
think Mia has a career
often.
doing anything right now. Not to talk shit on anybody.
Does she not do OnlyFans? I thought she still did it.
I thought she stopped because her current boyfriend doesn't like it.
Oh, I thought her current boyfriend was her photographer.
No, they broke up and she upgraded to
Upgraded to a guy that made her just quit her job.
Yep. Pretty fucked up, but yep.
Oh man, that's the red pill way.
Unironically, yes.
Yeah.
Red pill. Yes. Let me see the Sasha Grey. I'm curious. She streams an okay amount, I guess.
Yeah, weekly or
Daylight.
bi-weekly?
Like 2 or 3 hours a day on average. It's not like the worst.
Oh, that's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she always has like roughly the same amount of viewers whenever I see her, and I'm pretty sure she does just gaming, and she always wears like a shirt like that's up to here.
Yeah.
And there's also
Mia Malkova didn't quit porn. It was even worse, actually.
Oh
she
no.
quit doing only boy-girl scenes.
Wait, she quit doing. Oh, she
yeah,
only
because
quit.
guys don't consider like girl-on-girl cheating or whatever. God, it's the most cringy, insecure shit in the world. Oh my god. But that's a whole other topic. But yeah, sorry.
There's another creator that we didn't mention yet, which is Adriana Chechik.
I don't know anything about her. I think I've heard the name before, but
yeah, she's a hardcore porn star. And she gets, I want to say, like 3K-ish, maybe.
Okay, that's not
actually.
So maybe there's a couple that.
I think it varies a lot, but yeah, she's pretty consistent. She games a lot, and yeah. And then there's Amaranth, our favorite consistent queen. She's like,
true, but
she
she's
streams
like
a fuck ton. Holy shit.
Yeah. The amount of work and everything she puts.
I don't know how she does it, man. Like, you gotta just want to turn it off sometimes, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
But that booty stays popping.
Yep.
All right. I think that's about it. Anything else? Oh wait, sorry.
What? Okay.
Here's my rant that I wrote about LavLunee. Why? And this is like
God,
while I was.
wrote a rant about her.
Well, it was because I was in the middle of the video and I was also trying to like make this document so I had proper shit to say to you without just forgetting it all.
Jesus. Okay.
But here, so I wrote, why doesn't LavLunee talk to a fucking non-binary person? And then I said, the autogynephilia argument seems weird and transphobic as fuck. Is that not weird as fuck?
Yeah, I don't know if she knows the history of the AGP stuff. I don't know this and I can't prove it, but it feels to me like she got on some crazy, there must be some British fucking woman that she's getting all of her political takes from. I feel like that's gotta be the case.
J.K. Rowling.
No, it can't be JK. It's gotta be somebody else. Because I feel like whenever I talk to her, I hear screaming out of her. And I'm friends with Lev. I don't hate her or anything. So like I hear screaming out of her is like turf, 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 turf. Like it's all the most bog standard turf talking points I've ever heard in my life. And yeah, she harps on that HEP shit a ton. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? It's so fucking weird.
It's really interesting because like the only she's I feel like that's why I wanted to talk to her is because she's so put together where she comes across so confidently. And I don't see many vulnerabilities, but I saw a tiny vulnerability there when she said she feels hurt or whatever when people don't want to use she, her. You know, when she was like, oh, it makes her sad or something.
Yeah, I know, but it's like such a weird fucking... It's like she's attacking or she has this weird thing of like, I get sad when I see non-binary women because we fought so hard for women's rights that it's like they're not respecting it or whatever. It's just like a really weird set of...
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. It feels like feels like you got turned on to some like ultra like rabid turfy feminist person, and that's like where a lot of her takes from. That's what it feels like. But I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, I would have a hard time even if I believed the autogynephilia thing. It comes across so badly. It just makes you look like you think that trans women are
like
sex
AGP
freaks.
is like AGP is like the number one thing. Like as soon as you hear that, I'm like, okay, so like, do you want me to call you a turf or like what, like are you just like openly IDing as one? But I don't know if she's aware of like all the baggage that particular term has. I truly have no idea.
And don't you think like it would be much more worthwhile to use your platform if you want to talk about feminist issues to talk about like stuff like and you know what? To be fair, she did talk about this one time on stream or something where she mentioned female genital mutilation is a problem still in a lot of third world countries. So I think that's a good thing to talk about. And also the thing that happened in Iran. I don't know if you've talked about that at all. Have you on your stream?
Which
sorry, what?
Lots of things are happening in Iran. Which one now?
The protests about the girl that got killed for not wearing her hijab properly.
Oh, yikes. Not cool.
Okay, that's a no, you didn't talk about it.
We haven't talked about it, but...
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's fucked up. So, I don't know. There's, like, a lot of issues that feminism is... That's why feminism exists, is because there's actually, like, severe problems going on. So, to talk about these, like, you know, little diddly, stupid issues...
True. Although, I mean, like, depending on the area you exist in, like, the trans stuff is becoming, like, more and more of, like, a hot-button topic. So, like, I can understand why it gets so much people's attentions.
Okay, and what about the nuclear war that's on our doorstep? Or is it on our doorstep, or is that just for, like, North Korea's area?
Oh, I don't know what. North Korea's been up to some weird shit, and then the Russia shit is still lurking in the background, too.
Yeah, so my roommate said that he heard... So the North Korea fired missiles. Do you know where the missiles landed?
One was over Japan, and was another over South Korea recently? I don't know if there was a second.
So they passed by, but they landed somewhere. That's me asking you. You don't know?
Probably in the ocean if we're not hearing about it.
Right, and then so America and I don't know who else shot missiles into the ocean around them. That's also what I heard.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true. I have to look that up, but that's what I heard. So that's fucking shitty though. But now like all the fucking ocean creatures are getting blasted.
I don't think the yield of like radiation fallout is that bad from nuclear weapons, so they just get blown.
Yeah, but don't you think there's like mechanical, physical damage, explosion?
Well, I mean, like, they all eat each other and die and shit all the time anyway. So.
Cool. Okay.
Are you fucking like a pescatarian or a vegan or some shit?
I'm a vegetarian.
Yeah, of course you are, guys. So no one fucking cares, okay? Outside of you guys, all right? Animals eat themselves, kill themselves in horrific ways. You know, if they died to the bombs, they probably had a better death than if they would have been slowly tortured to death by some weird crustacean or whatever.
What about blowing up like the coral reef or whatever the fuck's down there?
Well, that's pretty sad. But you're a vegetarian, so you hate plants anyway, so don't coral.
I hate plants, yeah. I like to chop them down.
True.
And eat their seed. What else? Oh, Russia. Yeah, they brought nuclear weapons to the border of Russia and Ukraine, something like that. They just like parked them at the border.
Did they?
That's what I heard.
Okay.
Yet to be confirmed.
Okay.
All right. What are you doing next?
There was another guy who was going to talk to me, but he went to bed, so fuck him.
Cool.
Probably just play some games, and then I think I go to TwitchCon tomorrow, so.
Oh, you're going to TwitchCon. You're going to hang outside the convention?
Yep, you know, see friends.
Cool stuff. Do you ever play StarCraft anymore?
Not really. Why?
No. I don't know. I started playing again. I'm now in Silver League. Oh yeah.
Why would you play, of all the games to play, why would you play StarCraft?
Because I feel like it's nostalgic.
Did you ever used to play StarCraft?
Yeah.
Oh. Why?
I was the top of Platinum League for several seasons.
Did you ever stream it?
Nope. I thought I was too shitty to stream because nobody streamed back in the day. It was 13 years ago, unless you were like a God King.
Gotcha. Well, damn, you could always, yeah, stream StarCraft. There you go. You found your new audience.
Yeah, I already do that. Cool. I'm done.
Okay. Well, if anything else comes up, shoot me a message.
Sweet. Have a good night.
Yeah,
Bye.
Have fun. Be careful. Bye.
You guys are funny. Yi wins. Does Yi win? Nahandera Sao Paulo. Mad people in here, were there? Let me see, is anybody still there? Alright, let's look at my stream. 8 watching. Whoa. Okay. 21 likes. Thanks, guys. 21 likes. Ye never lose. Mr. Yee boy! I love that. Sorry, I wasn't really looking at chat during the convo. Well, welcome to the club, guys. Do you ever go on Twitch? I stream more on Twitch than I do on YouTube. Although I did stream me sanding down a vanity dresser yesterday and then playing some Wordle on YouTube. Whoa, my mic is in a bad spot. What's my favorite anime? I mean, I love Sailor Moon from back in the day, but what's my favorite anime of all time? I don't know. I watched a shit ton of Cowboy Bebop for a while. I've been told I watched Demon Slayer, but I never actually got around to watching Demon Slayer. And I wanted to watch, I don't know, what do you guys think I should watch? Oh, you know what I really love is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That was a good one. What's your favorite anime? Boring. Well, what's your favorite anime? What's a good anime? What should I watch? One Piece. Somebody I dated, or no, I don't know if you call it dating, was really into One Piece. I never watched it though. All girls say Sailor Moon. No, they do not. There are girls that are way more knowledgeable about animes than I just was. Dragon Ball. You know what? I actually want to watch Dragon Ball. I didn't really watch it when I was young. It came off as you can't possibly imagine. No, that was, I could see why you thought that. No, I can imagine why. It's just, it's weird that it was on, like, when I joined the gang of people that are on like Zherka's podcast, I just thought there was gonna be more. Okay, wait, let me think about this before I say it. I guess it just surprised me that a young gamer woman, I don't know how much gamer has to do with it. I don't know. I guess it just surprised me. Hunter x Hunter. Yeah. There was somebody I knew that was really into that. I should watch that. I'll watch that one. Fan-made Dragon Ball mangas are amazing. I never really got into mangas, but I did get into graphic novels. Sandman by Neil Gaiman was a really good one. Had a lot of, what are they called? Issues? Yeah. And Why the Last Man was a good one. And what was it called? It was about like, were they aliens? It was like a fairy and a bull guy who had a baby in space. What was that called? That graphic novel. Stains Gate. Okay, let me write this down so I'll download some shit right now, actually. Let's download some shit. I downloaded some shit and then I guess my VPN wasn't on in time. And the government caught me. Gotta turn my VPN on. Whoa. Okay, turning the VPN on. Uh-oh. Whoops. Alright, sorry guys if I DC'd there for a bit. It's because I joined the VPN. What should I be doing? Watching it on Crunchyroll? What do you guys do? What do people do these days? I'm old. I know, isn't Hunter x Hunter on Netflix? But I have Canadian Netflix, which is worse. Just use one of the free websites like 9anime. 9anime. Cool. Thanks. It's an illegal website? Did you enjoy your convo with Destiny? Yeah, that was the second time we talked. The first time we talked, I was like, I had just gotten back from my vacation and I had a horrible sleep because my flights had been canceled and I was all fucked up, and then I like, yeah, it was a mess. But the conversation wasn't a mess. I was just feeling a mess, and then yeah, so this time it was more chill and more conversational, and I was more myself because last time I was like really nervous. I am Canadian. Okay, let's enter the anime name. Stains Gate. Oh, it's Steins. Sume Eichi no. Episode 4 on 4. Well, I want to watch it in order. This is okay. Wait, let me type it properly. Stains Gate. Well, these episodes are all out of order. I'm not loving that. Alright, I guess I'll figure that out. That's Destiny's favorite name? I know, I was thinking about the girl name. We never met in person. I just, we spoke in July. Yeah, I wanted to message him about some indigenous issues, which is one of the videos is on my YouTube. You just gotta go back to July. And you can see our first conversation. It's my video with the highest views besides shorts. The shorts have the higher views otherwise. 2011, huh? Okay, cool. I shall watch it. Alright, guys. I think I'm gonna go away now. You want me to convince you to watch the anime that you guys recommended me? Oh, the video with Destiny. Never mind. Yeah. I mean, if you want to hear about indigenous issues in Canada, you can hear us argue about that. Basically, this time around, I just kind of like chatted with him about a bunch of shit. But last time, I had two issues that I wanted to argue with him about. So, I wanted to tell him, well, I wanted to double check the reasoning behind why he thought land acknowledgements were cringe. Because I heard him say that on stream one time, and I was like, wait, why do you think that? And then I wanted to just kind of like push back a bit on that, and just, yeah, I just wanted to kind of like, I don't know if I'd say defend land acknowledgements, but I just wanted to kind of represent a little bit. for why they might need to be there. And then also I wanted to, because he said he didn't think, like, he just disagreed with some content that's on Twitch, like the more porny stuff. And yeah, so I wanted to just be like, wait, I have something to say about that. Yeah, I hope Lav talks to me too. There's a very good chance she just never saw my DM. I know she was like, she's, you know, obviously popular and she's probably getting a lot of people hitting her up, but I mean, clearly she's seeing the DMs because she joined. I was supposed to do an e-date right now. Like in 15 minutes, I was supposed to be on an e-date, but the e-date got pushed to Monday. But I saw that she joined the server that the e-date is in. So like clearly she's seeing some Discord stuff, right? So I think she just, you know, either she saw it and she just kind of like saved it for later or whatever, or I don't know. Obviously I don't know what she really did. But yeah, I would like to talk to her. I think we could talk about some really good stuff. I'm hoping it's not just like, you know, the whole Hassan type thing where it's like you only talk to creators that you can gain clout from. Yeah, I want to believe that she's good. So I hope she gives me the chance to believe that. What do you guys think? Okay, I gotta pee, and I think that's about it for this stream, but let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts on the LavLunee situation or things that we should talk. Catching Hassan strays. Hassan catching strays. I get it. I read it wrong. I'm tired as a motherfucker. Okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. Or no, I'm not gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna go pee. And then I don't know what the fuck I'm doing after that. Go read the subreddit. I'm scared of subreddits. What subreddit am I supposed to read? Is that the Destiny subreddit? I can't believe somebody linked my Reddit in the chat. Rude. But also not that surprising. Alright, the subreddit is r/Destiny. Is there a post about LavLunee? There's probably multiple, right? No more Keffels and no more of the I got banned. Destiny's live. What's the post, guys? What's the post? Post-game analysis. Wait, you guys thought that LavLunee won? Trying to read this. Sorry, your AI clearly failed. Petition for branch. She was speaking complete nonsense. You know what? I honestly think she's smart and she's confident, and I want to talk to her about that stuff. But yeah, I'm just a bit butthurt that she doesn't want to talk to me. Okay, goodbye, guys.